This is a review of a premium economy flight on Qantas flight QF9 from Melbourne to London in June 2022. We rode on Qantas flight QF9 from Melbourne to Heathrow, London, via Perth on the 30th of July 2022. The flight was scheduled to take off at 3:15 and landed Perth at 5:15, which is a flight time of around about 3.5 hours. It was scheduled to take off at 6:50 from Perth and land in Heathrow, London at 5:05 the following day. The flight left Melbourne approximately about an hour and a bit late, which is quite annoying because there wasn't that much communication as to why there was a delay or when we were likely to board. It was all sort of a rushed job, I think. And because we left Melbourne late, it meant that we left Perth just over an hour late as well. We were fortunate that we made up most of the time in the air, and what was supposed to be about a 16.5-hour flight was around about that time, about 16.5 hours, and we landed in Heathrow around about 5:20, 5:30, so it wasn't too bad. We were booked into premium economy, and I should note that premium economy doesn't entitle you to lounge access at Melbourne Airport. I have an Amex card, so we were fortunate that we were able to use the American Express lounge at Melbourne, but there was no use of any sort of lounge area in Perth. The departure area or gate is quite small. It's got a very small duty-free section, and there's a small bar, and there's a cafe and toilet facilities, and there's not really much else. We did not need to check back into security because it was a controlled area. There's two business class sections on the 787 Dreamliner. There's a reasonably big one at the front of the plane, there's a small one, and then there's premium economy beyond it. Premium economy comprises of 28 seats. We were on the end, the window side of the plane. Plenty of overhead storage. The seats were very wide and spacious, didn't have any issue with that. Didn't have any issue with elbow room, it was quite spacious. Joe and I didn't get in the way of each other. There were a couple of windows that we could see out of. The view where we were was over the wing, so the views out the window weren't that spectacular because the wing was in the way. But as you can see, plenty of width. That really ugly thing is an airbag, which is the first time I've ever had an airbag on a plane before, but it's quite big and bulky, and it sort of gets in the way. It gets in the way of the tray when you're having a meal. A fair bit of storage there. That is the footrest. The one that I had was slightly broken, so I didn't actually extend properly all the way. On a later flight, it was working properly, and it was pretty good. One of the things with that footrest is it doesn't really allow you that much room. There's not much room between the footrest and the net that extends beyond that, and the underneath of the seat in front of you. So while it is supportive of your legs, it's not that comfortable, and one of the things you can't really do is try and sleep on your side. The seat isn't a lie flat seat, it's a reasonable angle, but after a while, and the flight from Perth to Heathrow was over 16 hours. It does get to be a little bit uncomfortable. Both myself and Joe have bad backs, and we didn't experience any significant issues backwise with the seat. The entertainment system was very, very good. It's as you can see, it was quite responsive, so long as you hit the right thing with the right degree of force. Quite responsive. It had heaps of reasonably good release movies and plenty of TV series, and the TV series were complete series. It wasn't like 1 or 2 episodes of a series. It was the whole like mini series and all the episodes. So if you like something, you were able to spend quite a bit of your flight viewing a series of many hours, and I think that helped the time go relatively quickly given the long flight. Qantas supplied noise cancelling headsets. I brought my own Bose headsets, and I found that they were slightly better in noise cancelling and sound quality, so I chose to use those myself. I'll bring up the seat map, and premium economy is shown in those light blue seats in the middle of the plane, and we sat in row 22, seats A and B as shown in red. One of the things to note is that premium economy passengers traipse through business class to get to the business class toilets. Now, if I was in that smaller business class section, I'd be slightly annoyed that all these premium economy passengers are using your aisle as a thoroughfare to get to the toilet. So I thought that was a bit unusual. No one actually stopped us from doing that, and all the premium economy passengers actually used those toilets up the front there. So if just a tip, if I was to book business class, I wouldn't be booking a seat in that middle section between premium economy and the front of business class, being a bit of a thoroughfare and a little bit noisy, and you certainly don't get the privacy that one would expect in business class. The service was quite good, friendly staff, plenty of drinks. We got served Prosecco or wine or water or a soft drink on each of our takeoffs, so that was quite nice. The meals were okay. We were served metal cutlery, and I have gluten-free meals, so I did have a special meal. Unfortunately, I had the same meal twice. I had it at the start of the flight at the Perth to Melbourne leg, and pretty much the same meal for dinner on the Perth to Heathrow leg. It was okay. I think the meal I've displayed the menu here. The meal was quite extensive. My partner was able to have some vegetarian meals, and she thought the standard of food was quite good. Freshly made and freshly dressed salads, and overall okay. But with the gluten-free meal, I would have preferred to have a different meal and not the same meal twice. The meals were quite tasty, good quality. They were hot. I had tea and coffee. I had wine with my meals. I choose to have wine, and that was topped up. There was the possibility of having snacks during the flight as well, so you only had to press your little light and ask for additional drinks or additional snacks, and they were listed in the menu. Quite a big variety of drinks, so that was quite good. One of the unusual things is that the windows had no shades, so all you could do was turn down the light coming through the window as sort of a magic window, and on occasions the cabin crew actually turn those the opaqueness down as an encouragement of people to sleep. So we did get off the plane at Perth Airport. We had to collect all our belongings and then head over into the terminal building. That was a short walk around some corridors, but we remained within a secure area, so we weren't required to go through security or anything like that again. The international departures area at Perth Airport is relatively small. It's not much more than a couple of departure gates, a small bar area and a small cafe area with some toilet facilities. There's really not much there. We were scheduled to be there for about an hour and 15-20 minutes. Again, our flight was delayed and we were there for about 2 hours, so it was a little bit frustrating, a little bit sort of boring. There wasn't a great deal to do there, being a very small area. Business class passengers would have had the privilege of going into the Qantas business class lounge. We, I guess, had the option of going to a premium plaza lounge, but that was in another terminal, the other side of the airport, and involved getting on a bus and getting through security again on the return. So with only about an hour and a bit, that wasn't really feasible for us to go to another lounge area at all. In summary, I'd say quite a comfortable flight. I think the seats are damn sight better than premium economy. Not as good as business class. Didn't give us back issues on the way over. Able to sleep a little bit. My partner slept a bit more than I. I'm not a very good sleeper on planes. I would say that it's worth the additional cost over economy. And I was incidentally chatting to some passengers on the flight, and there was quite some variation in the cost of the airfares, where we got them for a reasonable price. Others paid a lot more than we did, so I'm not sure whether it pays to book early or to book late, but there was quite some significant variation in price, so that's just something to be noted. All in all, good flight, good timing, and I would do it again if flying to England for sure. So I hope you've liked this review of Qantas flight QF9 Melbourne to Heathrow, and please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Until next time, bye.